And we're back with more Legend of Legaia. Citizen Strife here in Octam, I believe. Where we were.
Well, we're going back to Vidna.
Yes. So we've been kind of going back and forth in these Sabukus Islands. I got it that time. Doing stuff. Because Hari, the prophet for Octam, and Rem, the god of time, has said, you need to get something known as the Star Pearl to get to where we are. And then we found a lady with, I'm guessing, is an interesting disposition, known as Kara. And she was mocking us for being goody two-shoes, because Noah's best girl, I mean, obviously. But she had the Star Pearl, she sold it to the jeweler in Jeremy.
And I just accidentally went to Vidna instead of Jeremy.
So, that one has our Star Pearl. Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh, we did him a favor. So I think it's time to pay back up.
Alan, can I ask you something?
What?
Do you know about the Star Pearl?
No, you can't just ask out of the blue like that. Yes, Noah, I know that Star Pearl. In fact, here it is.
Wow, neat! It's the Star Pearl! Can I have it, please?
Oh, look at her bouncing. Oh, of course you may. I have no use for it. Here you are. Oh, that was easy.
Vaughn now has the Star Pearl, and Noah's really excited.
Yay, and Gala's like, what the fuck? The shifty-looking female thief palmed it off on me. Has no value as a precious gem. I would have never thought something like this would make someone so happy. Thank you so much, everyone. From the bottom of my heart. Also, does your friend Noah do the arm wave thing all the time? Because I'm a little confused.
Doing her best Flappy Bird impression.
Ella's like, forget it. We'll leave now. I bet he would just drag her from behind, and she'd just be flapping all the way home.
I keep telling you, she gets even better. I mean, if you think the flappy thing is funny, wait until you see some of the other crap she pulls.
I mean, she does the Flappy Bird, she does the pee-pee dance, she does the spinny spin.
Okay.
She does the Yahoo and the Lucky. All while kicking the shit out of dudes. That's what makes it even better.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I wonder, now that we're into this point, like, I know we've gushed so much about her as a character, but it's like, it's kind of like me with Nanako, and I've said this in Persona 4, it's like, I'm gonna keep doing it, and I don't know if it's ever gonna stop, so just the thing that we do.
Yep.
Because the game hit on something that works.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, I like this game for most of it, but again, you need I've said this before, you need characters that are interesting. And Noah wouldn't be the most interesting, I don't think, unless written well. Because they've done feral-type characters before. You know, Gaw was an interesting example, but Gaw felt more like a wasted opportunity because he only got some lines with Sabin, and he was the character who did the cool rage mechanic. But really, they didn't give him anything to work with. Noah at least has actual story relevance, an endearing personality. Because you could have made her a mute, and I don't think it would have worked at all.
No, in fact, once you get to the Callisto Kingdom, once we actually get past Sabukus Islands and we actually venture into Callisto Kingdom, we start to go more into her backstory and what happened to her and how she ended up in that cave. and it's just tragic. So we keep going east and we'll reach the Shadow Gate. West is a city called Reteu, and south is Octam.
Is Reteu anything we need to go in?
Oh yes, we're gonna need to go to Reteu. Because there's a whole thing going on in that city. You won't believe it.
Fair enough. I remember Lufia 2 was always the game that I felt had way too many cities and towns for its own good. And to be fair, it was more of the episodic, villain of the moment, or hey, stock up until you do the place and the puzzle and the thing. But it's like, you don't need too many towns.
Part of this, it's not that there's too many towns, it's that we're still on no matter what we're doing, we're still on a quest to revive Genesis trees, and there is a Genesis tree near Reteu.
Yeah, and that's nice. I think for me, like, as long as you have an in-game reason to justify why a town is different enough, like, Jeremy looks like a hub city. Like, I could buy that being, oh, we could do this for, like, 3 or 4 areas and stuff. Which, in a way, you kind of do. But at the same time, it's like the city of Dali in Final Fantasy IX. Like, there was a reason that such a small-ass city had left such a big impact.
And honestly, when you compare them in size, Jeremy is actually smaller than Reteu. But the reason why Reteu is important is because the king of the Sabucus Islands that's his capital. That's where he lives.
So yes, it is important. Good.
Yeah, it's not just a city to be a city. It's actually where the king of Sabucus lives. And there's something really messed up going on there.
I think the reason I say this is I've been tasked with a D&D campaign, and it's more that my turn came up, right? And we do revolving DMs usually, unless people just want to sit back, which some of them do, some of them don't. Mm-hmm. But my plan was, the first one I ever did because I was new was we did one big hub city, and we basically did 4 different tiers. But for all intents and purposes, it was just one big ass fucking city. Like, think of Esthar, right?
Yeah.
If it was the only place you ever went to or Midgar. Midgar would make more sense because of the town.
Yeah.
But say Midgar was the only city in Final Fantasy VII you were there.
And then you had some smaller areas like Calm and Rocket Town and things like that.
Exactly, yes. And for Final Fantasy VII Remake, Midgar was all you had, but that's all they focused on. But they still gave you stuff, and tons of stuff inside it. My plan this time is to just do 10 or 12 different ones, but having 3 or 4 one-off sessions or 2 or 3 week sessions. And it's important for me to think, okay, not just are the players from their places, does this place matter, or is it too much like another place? Because that's a problem in game, is you don't want a place to be too much like another city that just exists already. Uh-oh.
I don't remember who's talking right now.
I'm guessing it's either Sonji or Kara.
I think it's one of the villains. Let's find out, because everybody can see that it says, "Oh, what a letdown."
Yep.
Oh! It's one of
finally...
the... Go ahead, it's all you.
Okay. Alright. I finally get to see the Rosru heroes that defeated Zito. And they turn out to be kids? Yum!
are you?
Yeah. Delilah's?
Delilah's.
Yeah,
I
ye
told you about
Delilah's.
these three.
At your service. That's Zito. Pretty pitiful to let a bunch of brats like you defeat him. You. That's Saru you're wearing.
Is this a bad person like Sanji and Zito?
A bad person? Oh, brother. Hey, blue-headed brat. You seem to be the leader of this kindergarten class.
Oh man.
I am?
Yep.
I guess. I knew it. Well, Vaughn, let's see how good you are. Fight me one-on-one.
Hey, how come you want to fight Vaughn and just Vaughn and not me?
One-on-one combat is a Delilah's family tradition. I'll fight you later. Well, Vaughn, don't run away. Fight me.
Bring
Okay.
on, dipshit.
Most admirable. Now prepare yourself. Ah!
I think this one is the sister.
Uh-oh.
Older brother.
Oh,
Older brother.
what in the world does she look like?
Devora, Koru.
She looks like Mom from Futurama. I see. Alright, I'll be right there.
Yes, I see.
What are you whispering about? Who are you? Is that really necessary?
I know
You
the
want to
eye
know our
twinkles.
names? Very well. I'm Guy Delilah's, expert at delivering a fatal blow to an opponent's body. I get the feeling his voice shouldn't be as serious as I'm making it.
I'm Lou Delilah's. I strike with lightning speed.
Actually, no. I think this is gonna work more. I'm Shade Ice. Brute strength and chaos are what I'm about. I didn't mean to do that, but I added it. We are the Delilahs. Vaughn, I thought we could play together, but now I don't have the time. I'll let you live for now. The next time I see you, I'll have your life.
Wait for it.
Now, what are you doing? We don't have time to play. She's going in the... I'm like, I wish I was that flexible.
I told you, whenever those three show up on the screen, she starts imitating them.
That's...
And it's so funny. Noah cracks me up, I swear. Oh my god. This is why I keep saying Noah is best girl. So hilarious. Okay, so this one is South Key. South is water. West is fire. Fight, fight. Oh, I don't need either of you to. North is Earth. And then that leaves us with East is Wind. Oh, look, it's moving! The stone is moving! This is so exciting!
What kind of internal mechanism is this?
She just got knocked on her ass. Did you see that?
Yeah. I'm waiting for PD Piranha to show up.
Oh, wow, look! Oh, look, the big stone flower opened.
On, look. Center of the stone flower. Something strange, some strange thing is moving. I don't want to touch it. You go touch it. Must be the entrance to the path leading to underground Octam. Oh, yeah.
The bud on the stone flower has a small hole and writing on it. Know well that the star pearl opens the door to the past.
For a good time, call Seabass.
Do you wish to throw the star pearl into the small hole? I suppose so.
No.
You just totally ruined the joke I was about to make.
Sorry.
Come on, go down the hole.
I don't know why I did the sea bass. I think I was thinking of the scene in Dumb and Dumber where they were in the stall.
Uh-huh. Ooh, Nova is new.
Wind. Alright.
Nova
And we
is-
got more of the spindly leg jerks too.
Nova is not only new, it's ugly.
Yeah, they're both ugly. I suggest stabbing them.
I'm just gonna set everybody to auto.
You know the one thing I'm grateful that we're getting back to Legaia for?
What's that?
Well, aside from getting the Nova power right away, not having that stupid stabilizer puzzle.
Oh god.
So yeah, this will be like a distant memory at this point, but I think it was like episode 9 of Dino Crisis, like right before, because this is like episode 19 or 20 or something of this, but we did Dino Crisis in a week, in between the recordings of this and the big bunch of Legaia episodes that we were doing. But Lee went back and looked at what happened. There was this like weird puzzle, because we chose to do a puzzle in Dino Crisis. And I don't know what it takes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes?
Oh
And-
god. Normally,
God.
okay, when under normal circumstances, it takes me like maybe a minute to do that puzzle. It took me almost 10 minutes to do that puzzle because the game kept playing dirty and fucking me over.
Yeah, the idea was one part was supposed to fly in through the screen, and you were supposed to take this like weird line or bar and match it up so that it would kind of click into place. And then the second part would come in, and then you click it into place. So you're supposed to turn it and get it kind of online in equilibrium. It seemed like it worked fine for the first one every single time. But the time when the second one always would show up way worse. And there were some times where it would show up once and then come right after it. So they would both be on the screen at the same time from the same fucking direction.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that I think Lee and I were both like super tired at that point. And just like,
I had actually been awake all night at that point. Hadn't been to sleep yet because my sleep schedule kind of got itself reversed again, which happens to me every few weeks. So I was operating on absolutely no sleep at the point where we were doing this, and I kind of got like really, really salty. Like, if you guys have ever heard me, I don't usually go off on tangents. I say a few things a little sternly here and there, but I don't go off on tangents usually. Which anybody, you guys have had enough experience listening to me now to know that. I full on said some really nasty stuff, and I was not polite about it.
Yeah. Because we both decided to go, we flipped a coin and we went with Rick, and we should have just went with Gale like we had been doing the entire game, which we didn't know would be so frustrating.
There's like one or two times in the game when going with Rick is actually a good idea.
Yeah.
But that's not one of them.
Nope.
Not unless you're well rested and you've got your coordination going.
Yeah, and now this game is basically Gale's quest, because all we're doing is punching dudes, so... Or stabbing dudes.
I'll tell you something, like... one part where we chose Gale's path, I basically had to run through an entire level just killing dinosaurs so I could get out before lockdown.
Yep.
And then, if I had chosen Rick's idea instead of Gale's idea, I would have gone into a secret lab and used some codes to open up an escape hatch. And same, like, if I had chosen Rick's idea, if I had chosen Gale's idea instead of Rick's idea for the part that he's talking about, there's a room that has a secret door that I didn't get to open up, and I possibly could have opened that door up. I think for...
Oh, go ahead.
I always forget about that room, and then the end game comes around, and I never get a chance to actually do that door.
I think for me, the thing I noticed was while it still had a lot of the rigmarole of survival horror from that era. I mean, it was made by Resident Evil guys, so of course it was. It was a lot more forgiving than I would expect a game like that to be. And even though it took us 10 episodes to do, it didn't feel like it. I mean, a couple of them were, like, there were times where you got stuck. But it was like...
That was my own bad memory.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to... I think it's... Because I was just like, I'm just following along. I have no gauge for what this game's supposed to be. I still enjoyed it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and... of course, we're doing these episodes now before we're even uploading them, so I have no gauge for what people are going to think. Right now, we're basically in the transition period between Secret of Mana, which is still finishing up, like 3-4 episodes, and then Persona 4, which is going to happen. So Dino Crisis is going to be after Mana. And again, that was like, outside of Castlevania, this will like be the first game, Dino Crisis will be the first non-RPG on this channel. And again, it's still a Japanese game made by Japanese developers. It's just a totally different type of game. And I'm like, because I was thinking like, Legaia, I had some idea going in because I watched a little bit of it. Dino Crisis was, I'd played Resident Evil, I'd played Silent Hill 2. I've got nothing to go on. And yeah, some of the acting was a little iffy, but that was that era. Regina still was pretty good. I think Gale was pretty good. And Rick was neat too. And I think they all did okay. And that's all he needed to be. I don't think it was trying to be. It reminded me of how Castlevania, their stories and their characters aren't all that impressive. It's all about the gameplay. And
I'll just wait until just wait until Dino Crisis 2.
in a good way or a bad way?
I'll let you make up your own mind on that one.
Fair enough. I mean, that might be something we do at some point.
Let me put it this way: as adventurous and fast-paced as Dino Crisis seemed to be at times, Dino Crisis 2 is like a roller coaster.
Oh.
It's very fast-paced action. It's more action
Okay.
than survival horror.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, I think that would work to its favor.
There's this, you actually get something for killing the dinosaurs in that game.
Yay!
It's got a whole point system.
Yay, because that T-Rex can go fuck himself.
Oh yeah, and the T-Rex still likes to pop up on you and
Ugh.
be a pain in the ass. Until something bigger than it comes along.
Oh boy.
Yeah! Who'd have thought there's actually something bigger than the T-Rex?
I'm reminded of that. I remember, I bring this up before. I remember that area in East 8. The whole concept of East 8 was, it was a island of dinosaurs, right? Which they call it primordials.
Uh-huh.
And I remember every time I'd go to that spot, it was, I think it was called the Pangaea Plains or something. I wouldn't fight a single thing if I didn't have to. It was the Secret of Mana approach to fighting. Like, I'll just get to the boss. Because dinosaurs hurt. I don't know if you know that, but dinosaurs are big and big. I know some of them are nice and docile, but still. They're hundreds of feet tall. Give or take. I'd rather not stand next to one.
Even dinosaurs that shouldn't be a problem will end up being a problem in Dino Crisis 2.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, hooray for more poison darts.
No poison darts.
Oh god, no.
But there are some really cool weapons in that game that you can buy instead.
That's fair.
You can, and just because you start out with one weapon doesn't mean you can't buy others. And, Rick and Gale are not part of the story at all.
That's fair.
Regina is, but she's technically not even the star of the game.
That's odd.
They kind of shifted the focus onto a new character named Dylan.
Oh.
The game is more about Dylan and what he's going through than about Regina. You know what? I'll just do this.
Ow! He's dead. Oh, you poked me in the eye. Stop that. He was standing right next to
Oh
Gale.
god, I
when he
can't
t-
wait until we get where we're going. You know why?
Oh. Why?
Shops with new clothes.
Yay! I love new clothes.
Me too.
Though, to be fair, I'm like Kyoko from River City Girls. There was that part where they were talking about going to Hibari, which is like the department store du jour, and the super upscale nouveau riche kind of thing. And they're talking, and they're meeting those punk-ass bitches that apparently aren't really punk-ass bitches, but it's framed from the game's perspective of Kyoko and Misako, who think they're total bitches. And Kyoko is like talking about Hibari, and she goes, I shop at discount. I'm like, that's
Really,
me.
Noah?
I shop at discount. Or at least I did until they closed down the Marshalls that was next door. I hate it when stores I like close down.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You know what I hate? Finding a pair of shoes I like and then not being able to find them again. That's what I really hate.
I've had that same problem. I've been buying, I think it was like Fila work shoes, because I do a lot of standing at work, so I fit them with like Dr. Scholl's or whatever. I went with Skechers this time.
Uh-huh.
And I've had I don't know if I would call it a callus on my toe or just some sort of like, it's always rubbing against the side of the toe, and it's just become a problem while walking. And I'm like, it's the shoe's fault. And it took like 3 months for that shoe to finally stop doing it because I wore it for so long. I'm like, I know that's probably not the same thing you were talking about, but yeah, like once you have something you like, there's no shame in sticking with it.
That actually wasn't what I was talking about. I just meant it's fine.
No. Go with what you were saying.
No, I just meant like finding a pair of shoes that you really like to wear, like a certain style that you really like, and then not being able to find those shoes ever again. Or anything that even looks similar to them.
Well, I will just say this: don't do platform shoes. I wore them in 7th grade and I hated it.
I had a pair of like platform flip-flops once. Dude, I loved them.
All I know is I wore them in 7th grade and I've never worn them since. It was a weird experience.
Seriously, the shoes that I had, I really liked, and then I could never find anything else like them ever again.
I tried those, like, when I used to run still, I wore those, like, minimalist shoes that are supposed to, not supposed to impede your, I think it's mostly designed to keep your normal foot pattern better than a normal foot does, because you always change your shoe. They were too expensive to be worth it, to be honest. I mean, I like the idea, but man, that stuff is for runners who are insane. I tried them, and I'm like, not while I'm standing at work. Then again, I wasn't doing retail back then. I don't even run anymore. I'm lucky I'm able to go walking to work because I'm like, I think I just have an issue with my legs now, because I've always had issues with my legs. Because people have known I have the issue with being blind. Really, the story fully is I was born 2 months premature. So the optic nerve in my right eye was severed. So I'm always looking at people as if I'm looking to the left. That's just because I look mostly out of my left side. There was another effect that was going on, and you've heard of like cerebral palsy, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, I have a form of that, which I don't know if was ever diagnosed, but it's like a mild form of spastic diplegia in my legs. And I think that now that I'm into my late 30s, early 40s, if I wasn't doing yoga, I don't think my legs would work at all. Like recently, like the insides of my legs are like, whenever I sneeze, my legs will like ache. It's a weird thing. Like my hips aren't good unless I stretch. It's a weird feeling. Yeah. And it's weird because you don't think sneezing would be that bad for you, honestly. It's an autonomic reaction you have to do. But it hurts.
I think this might be a good place to go ahead and branch off and separate episodes.
Oh, neat. So this might be a two-parter?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll keep on with that weird discussion or do a different kind of discussion next time. Thanks for watching.